Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kanita, Head of Talent and Culture for ANZ Bangalore, and with me, Tasneem. She's the lead for Specialized Skill Hiring Program for ANZ Bangalore, and also a great champion who's very passionate to bring diverse talent into our organization. So who better than her can talk about some of the key initiatives that we are driving in Bangalore. So before that, it's a pleasure to be here, part of this conversation, and thank you so much, Jobs for Her, for providing us this opportunity to be part of this D&I conversation for the second year. And it is also great to learn some of the great practices from our friends from other organizations. Thank you. We are extremely pleased to be here. And before we start about or share some of our key initiative, would like to spend a few minutes to talk about our organization, what do we stand for, so that it gives you a context in terms of what we are talking about. Can we move on to the next slide? So banking is just not about finance. This is what ANZ strongly believes in, and hence our purpose to shape a world where people and communities thrive. And that talks so much in terms of the focus we have for diversity and inclusion. We are present in more than 32 markets, and in our core market, we are one of the largest 4 banks in Australia and the leading bank in New Zealand. Globally, we have a strong team of more than 46,000 employees who are very passionate to make a difference to our retail, commercial, and in-store customers. So that's about globally what we stand for in terms of our purpose. Moving on to the next slide. So in Bangalore, we have 2 entities, and as ANZ Bangalore Service Center, we provide operations, technology, and enablement services to ANZ and present in all the markets. If you look at, we are very interesting to note that we are one of the first few shared services in Bangalore, and we established ourselves about 30 years ago. And if you look at the average age in our organization is about 28. So despite being 30 years old in the market, we ensured that majority of our workforce are millennials and Gen X, and they constantly help us to reimagine the way we engage them and provide the employee experience to them. So our inherent strength is vibrant, diverse, and inclusive culture, and that we are very, very proud about. So that's a quick context in terms of what we stand as an organization and what we truly believe in. Moving on to the next slide. So inclusion, if you talk about inclusion, I'm sure there are many organizations who have already been in this space would completely agree with me that diversity and inclusion is a continuous journey. No one can say that we have reached there because we constantly expand the way we are inclusive. Earlier, we were only talking about gender, then came the disability, then came now the LGBTQ plus community. We are talking about autism. I think there is no limit in terms of how much more we can be inclusive in the way we do things. So, and I strongly feel, and as an organization also, we strongly feel that inclusiveness is very intrinsic, and everyone has to play a role in building that inclusive culture. We do have these employee resource groups, or the networks that we call it as, which focuses on specific inclusive groups, gender balance, disability, LGBTQ+. And here are some stats in terms of what do we stand for and what each of the networks drive. So if you look at, as an organization, we have 36% represented by women. And if you look at it from a leadership point of view, we are at 29%. This percentage has increased by about 6% in the last 3 to 4 years, which I personally feel is a significant progress that we have made in the last few years. And the recent one to this addition is Pride. This focuses on creating an environment where people can bring their whole self to work. So that's the focus, and we're proud to say that we have hired more than 17 people as on date since the time we have established this. And Abilities is one of our oldest network. We have become pioneers in the industry in terms of hiring more than 100 plus disabled staff of different types of disability. And we are continuing to progress in this journey. And the conversation today is how it is not just about hiring, how do we ensure that they make career progressions? We are looking at having targeted mentoring sessions for them. So that's to give in terms of what inclusion is in ANZ. in ANZ, diversity and inclusion is just not a business focus for us. It's part of our DNA. It has strongly got embedded in our culture, and it has become a way of life. So today, moving on to the next slide. So here are some of the practices. To give you a nutshell, if what got us here in terms of to create such a diverse organization is some of the enabling practices that we have. For example, we have a gender balanced recruitment practices, which says every interviewer panel should have one female interviewer, and all the job applications for any role, it should have 50% female candidates. This is mandated for every role at all levels. So this is one of the key examples of our gender balanced recruitment practices that help us to become the diversity and inclusive employer we have become. The next one is in terms of a small thing like making job adverts gender neutral. How many of us know that some of the terms that we use in our job descriptions are very gender specific, like empower, bold, brave, so on, and we made a conscious choice to change those words to make it feminine, like embrace, nurture, and globally we got a 7% increase in the applications from female candidates just by changing the language, how we advertise the roles and position. We do have very supportive policies that enable our women to thrive their career in ANZ. One of it is flexibility. That is our strong value proposition that we offer to our candidates. So that is in a nutshell in terms of some of the key initiatives that help us to bring more diverse talent into our organization. And we are here to talk about two specific targeted diversity hiring that we did in the recent past and that we are very proud about and very close to our heart. So I'll ask Tasneem to give a walkthrough about what those initiatives are.
Thank you, Kanita. Hi, my name is Tasneem, and today I'm going to talk to you about two initiatives that have had quite a ripple effect. The first one is Stride with Pride. Kanita already mentioned that at ANZ, our purpose is to shape a world where people and communities thrive. Am I audible? Yes. Right, perfect. So she already mentioned that at ANZ, our purpose is to shape a world where people and communities thrive, and that's why it's very important that our workforce is a reflection of the society that we live in. Today, I'm going to talk to you about two initiatives where we've empowered communities that today require the most amount of empowerment. Stride with Pride to begin with. We started our journey of hiring people from the LGBTQ community back in 2018, and this was way before the Supreme Court of India legalized LGBTQ rights. However, while we were hiring candidates from the community, we realized that there's an acute need for more education and more upskilling within the transgender community. And that is why we brought in Stride with Pride. It's a strategic program aimed at making candidates from the transgender community employable. To begin with, we did Stride with Pride in 3 phases. The first phase was where we went ahead to scout talent. This undoubtedly was the most difficult part of all the 3 phases because talent of this community is not available everywhere. They're not mostly available in metro cities. We had to go to extremely rural parts of India to find some of these candidates. What we did not know when we were looking for these candidates is that 95% of transgender candidates are disowned by their families on coming out. What we did not know also was that on coming out, they're left with no source of income, which is why at some point they always engage in sex work or begging. After a solid 3 months of scouting for candidates, we were able to bring together a group of 25 candidates that had learning agility, a very, very basic level of education, and wanted a change in their lives. The second step was to upskill them, so you can see it's upskilling and corporate education.
I'm really sorry to interrupt, but we have gone a minute over time.
Oh, okay.
So if we could, I'm not sure, I'm going to open that up. We'll finish the slide and go on? Yes.
Okay. All right, so the second part of Stride with Pride was to upskill candidates, the 25 candidates that we brought in from various different places. We used several modules, and the modules were curated by our learning team. We trained them on various aspects like money-minded, corporate education, digital literacy, digital security, and so on and so forth. Skills that are not just required to do well in a corporate, but also in life. The third part of it was hosting a talent exchange program. We did Stride with Pride in partnership with our CSR team, which is why we wanted this initiative to have a ripple effect. If you allow me, can I just move on to the next slide, please? Thank you. So the third phase was to host a job fair, and this was the first time a corporate had hosted a job fair, invited 8 different companies to come in and hire a talent pool that they trained. We had 8 candidates that came in, and if you could move to the last slide, that's the outcome we received. Y'all can read it for yourself.